At 85, Sir Cliff Richard finally speaks with rare honesty about his life, his faith, and the quiet but meaningful bond he shared with George Harrison, reflecting on a journey that began when he was born Harry Roger Webb on October 14, 1940, in Lucknow, India, before moving to post-war England in 1948 and growing up in modest circumstances in Cheshunt, Hertfordshire, where American rock and roll, especially Elvis Presley and Little Richard, ignited a passion that would transform him into one of Britain's greatest musical pioneers. By the late 1950s, Cliff was already leading a cultural shift, introducing authentic British rock and roll with his explosive 1958 debut Move It, widely regarded as the UK's first true rock record, and alongside his band The Drifters, later renamed The Shadows, he dominated the charts with hits like Living Doll, Please Don't Tease, The Young Ones, and Travelin' Light, becoming a symbol of youthful optimism long before the Beatles emerged. Yet, unlike many of his early contemporaries, Cliff adapted as music evolved, shifting gracefully into pop ballads and gospel-inspired work, a transformation deeply influenced by his Christian faith, which became a guiding force in his life and career from the mid-1960s onward. His longevity proved extraordinary, with major resurgences in the 1970s and 1980s through songs like Devil Woman, We Don't Talk Anymore, and Dreaming, all while maintaining a reputation for integrity, humility, and professionalism that set him apart in an industry often marked by excess, leading to staggering achievements including over 250 million records sold, top 5 UK hits across 6 consecutive decades, a knighthood in 1995, and countless awards recognizing both his music and philanthropy. Even in his later years, Cliff continued to thrive creatively, releasing successful albums such as the Fabulous Rock and Roll Songbook in 2013, Just Fabulous Rock and Roll in 2016, with a moving virtual duet featuring Elvis Presley, followed by Rise Up in 2018, The Air That I Breathe in 2020, and Christmas with Cliff in 2022, all proving his enduring relevance. Now, with the clarity that comes from age, Cliff looks back especially on his relationship with George Harrison, recalling their first quiet meeting in the early 1960s when Cliff was already a star and George was still rising with the Beatles, remembering George's shyness, depth, and unmistakable spiritual presence, and how their friendship grew through thoughtful conversations about faith, meaning, and peace. Cliff rooted in Christianity, George drawn toward Eastern philosophy, yet united by the same search for truth, with George once telling him that all paths lead to the same place if the heart is right. Cliff defends George's spiritual journey, recalling moments when Harrison played sitar not to perform but to express something deeply emotional, and admits that George's approach to music inspired him to pursue greater sincerity in his own work. Reflecting on George's death in 2001, Cliff speaks of a lasting loss, not just of a Beatle, but of a gentle, humble man who valued inner peace over fame, a courage Cliff admits he admired and perhaps envied, as George could step away from the spotlight while Cliff felt forever drawn to performing. Now, at 85, Cliff says gratitude defines his reflections, thankful not only for a life in music, but for having known the real George Harrison, a fellow traveler seeking harmony beyond charts and applause. And in sharing these memories, Cliff Richard offers a moving testament to friendship, faith, and the enduring human search for meaning that transcends music, fame, and even belief itself.